Moviesucktastic is a podcast about bad movies and the people that love them. But it's more than just a podcast, it's also an online presence. If you want to know more about Moviesucktastic or want to become a part of Moviesucktastic, you can find us on Facebook, you can find us on Twitter at Moviesucktastic, you can find our blog at boothreviews.blogspot.com, or if you want to give your own reviews that we might use on the show, you can go to reviews.moviesucktastic.com and check out our own little lunch.com community for Moviesucktastic. Check us out and become a part of the show, because the only thing more fun than a bad movie is sharing it.
You're listening to Moviesucktastic.
Dude, no! Oh!
Dude.
I can hear.
You can hear everything.
I can hear. Oh, pardon me in advance. I'm just getting over a cold, so I may get the occasional, bad noise. I'll try to mute when possible.
Oh, that sounds. Yeah, that's good.
I apologize.
Don't ever apologize for being human, like
so
George W. Bush. We'll get into that.
Well, we'll get to that
next.
Yeah. In case you missed the last 5 minutes intro, this is Moviesucktastic.
That's right. Scott can now hear. He's like, what's his face from Johnny Dangerously. I can see, but now I can't hear.
My favorite Martian.
Yeah, I can never remember his name. Or Pappy from Popeye.
He's dead.
He is dead. He was also in, most famously, other than My Favorite Martian, Mr. Hand in Fast Times at Ridgemont High. He played Sean Penn's teacher.
Yeah.
But he was also in the challenge that we did 2 weeks ago, Galaxy of Terror. He was in that film.
That's right.
Yes.
And speaking of dead stars, I have to point out real quick, I was watching Poltergeist 2 with my wife.
Well, I saw that you were watching Poltergeist, the first one as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had to watch that on yours because apparently I only have the Riff Tracks version. I don't know how that happened. But
this is what I recommend. I'll make it very brief. You can have the Riff Tracks version, but you need to have the original audio so you can switch back and forth.
I normally do. For some reason, I didn't for this. That's why I started that with for some reason, because I normally have a copy with the regular audio, unless it's something I really fucking hate, like Avatar.
Well, there you go.
But anyway, we were watching Poltergeist 2, and it gets to the part where Carol Ann's talking to her grandmother, and her grandmother says something about growing up, and Carol Ann says, I don't really want to grow up. And I just said, don't worry, you won't.
Oh.
And I regretted it instantly, but it's still kind of funny.
What the fuck's wrong with you? That's just one of those like double takes that I do, and I just go like, what?
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 You'll get a lot more of those tomorrow night when we go see Jigsaw!
That's right, we're seeing Jigsaw tomorrow night. Now, obviously now is not the time or place to find out what you want to eat for dinner, but we'll get into that later after the show. I still don't know what I want to eat. But yes.
I know what I want.
Blood. Let's play a game.
I'm just angry that I did not get my torture porn T-shirt made in time. And actually, I wouldn't have been able to wear it anyway because I'm coming to your house directly from work, and that's not corporate approved dress.
No, well, if you had it, you could always just throw it in the back of the car and then wear it when you got here.
That's cheating, though. That's cheating. Anyway,
yes, we will be seeing Jigsaw tomorrow night. Apparently, it opens tonight. Like I could have got tickets tonight for like a 9 or 10 o'clock showing. And ironically enough, when I bought the tickets, that's actually what I did, because I just assumed it was opening Friday. So I click on to buy now, and it says, "Great, you are ready to see Jigsaw at 10 o'clock Thursday, October 26th." I'm like, wait a minute, what?
Hey boy.
So I had, and you know what? I will say this, though. Fandango has gotten a lot better, because if I had done this, say, a mere year ago, I would be making a phone call and having to wait to talk to a real person to get refunded for the tickets. Now, I can just go online and get refunded that way. And it put a credit on my account, and then I just use that credit to get the tickets for Friday night instead. It was so simple. I thought I was going to have to, call someone and just deal with that crap.
Go through your own version of Saw.
That's right.
So, I mean, I will preface our discussion of horror films by saying that I have already done my power marathon through all 7 Saws with my wife. She was there for all of them.
I haven't rewatched any of them in preparation for Jigsaw, and I feel like that's a mistake.
Big mistake, but don't worry, I'll fill you in on the drive.
You'll fill me in? Yeah, no, I absolutely. Well, I mean, it's going to be a short drive. The theater is only about 10 minutes away.
I'll get it in.
Well, you could fill me in all through dinner, because it's a 10 o'clock showing, and even if you got here at 7 o'clock, we have 3 hours to kill.
Oh, we're going to kill. There will be killing. Oh, yeah. So, what do you want to talk about tonight?
Well, did you watch that film that I mentioned that I saw?
Sadly, I did not.
Damn.
Because there was a hospital visit this week. Nothing major, but right. The week got away from me.
All right. I would still like to talk about this movie, though.
Please do. Please do.
My wife and I, we watched a film called It Comes at Night. And here, I should have did this already, but I'm going to pull up the IMDb info just so I can get everything correct.
Okay.
Now, I saw the trailer for this, months ago. Probably back in like May-ish. It came out in June. I did. Now, you haven't seen... I
did too, but I don't remember much of it.
Well, don't rewatch the trailer. You will have a much better experience with this film if you don't watch the trailer, because this is one of those films that A24 is the studio. They're known for making art house films, films like Swiss Army Man, just is the first thing that comes to mind. So when I saw A24, I was like, okay. This is a horror film. It's gonna be more on the artsy side, maybe more cinematography. Maybe it's gonna have I was expecting a slow burn. Let's put it that way.
You're expecting a Babadook.
Yeah, and Mare and I, we watched it, and she hated it, because if you watch the trailer, I can understand people hating it, and the reason for that is because the trailer does not everything that's in the trailer happens in the movie, but they portray the film in a what they show you in the trailer is not what you get in the movie. The trailer will make you think that it's a horror film. It'll make you think that it has all this tension. It'll make you think that you're going to get these jump scares, because that's what the trailer tells you is going to happen. And it could not be further from the truth.
It's a romantic comedy?
It's a romantic... No, of course not. But everything that you see in the trailer, any kind of horror element or any kind of tension, and I don't want to give anything away because I did enjoy the film in the end, but it's misleading in a very, very big way. So the main story is this family, who the main actor is Joel Edgerton. He has his wife and his son. They live out in like this remote part of the countryside, all by themselves. There's a disease that is spreading through the whole world, and it's basically the plague, is what I can gather. It's like the modern day plague. And this person breaks into their house because he has the whole house on lockdown. They have a very specific way of doing things. The house gets locked down. They travel in twos. They have a water system that they figured out because you can clearly see in one of the shots where it says this container says dirty water. So it's also, I'm under the impression that water might be the way that the plague is transmitted, just because they go through great lengths to show you that they have this system of cleaning water. Everything it's vague, and it's vague on purpose because it leaves a lot to the viewer to decide certain things. There's that. So then this person breaks into their house, and he tells him that he has a wife and a child, that they're 50 miles away, and that he's just desperate. So he leaves him outside for a full 24 hours, because also watching the film, you get the information of, if you have any symptoms of this plague, it's going to happen within 24 hours. So he leaves him tied to a tree for 24 hours, and then not to give anything away because I won't, but it is purposely left vague. You don't know really what's happening. Even after you watch the film, you kind of scratch your head and go, what the fuck was that?
Now, that can be good and that can be bad.
Yeah,
I really wish I'd seen this before we had talked about it.
The ending, there's no guessing. I mean, you know the ending. There's no guess.
So the ending explains everything?
It doesn't explain anything, but you know when you get to the end of the film what the inevitability is. There's no guessing of, well, what's going to happen. Like, you know what's going to happen.
Okay.
The ending isn't left vague. You know what's happening. But everything surrounding this plague or disease or this monster, it's all purposely vague. You're just grasping at straws trying to figure it out. The opening of the film begins with it's the father, the mother, the son, but the grandfather is in the very, very beginning of the film, and he's visibly sick. He has the sores, he's groggy, and they're talking to him with these gas masks or masks with some sort of air purification on them. And she's talking to her father. She's saying, it's okay to let go. It's okay to let go. They wheelbarrow him out into the outside field, foresty area that they have, and then they burn him. They cover him with gasoline and they burn him. Okay, as you
alive?
No, he's dead. He dies.
Okay.
And then they burn the body. That's what they do to dispose.
Skimmed over that part. I was like, this sounds interesting.
Yeah, no, it's not that interesting. But as with anything, and the reason why I say plague is because the surefire way, and even back then, they were burning bodies. That's the way to stop the disease. So
kill it with fire.
Kill it with fire. So they go and they burn the body. And anytime they encounter anybody that is diseased and dies, they get burned. And the thing is, she's got the gas mask on when she's talking to him. It's very, very clear that you don't get near the infected because you will contract whatever they have.
Oh, sure.
So, and, again, you haven't seen it, so I don't want to give anything away. So getting into details, you can't really. The only thing I can really talk about is how misrepresented the trailer is, but how good the acting and how good what you get to see on screen is. But if you look at and I hate to bring this up, but it is a very huge contrast, the Rotten Tomatoes score. The Rotten Tomatoes score is in the 80 percentile. The critics rate it in the 80 percentile. I think it was something like 88%. The viewer score is like 44%. It's like literally cut in half. It's abysmal. And the reason for that is because the trailer is so misleading. People were thinking they were going into this horror film because the music that they use, the music that they use in the trailer, it brings out the tension that you think you're going to see. You really don't. What you really are seeing on screen are two families trying to survive the fucking modern day plague. And it's a slow moving film, you know.
Okay.
Shit doesn't really ever happen. But I liked it. Mare didn't. She hated it. She was in agreement with the 44%. I wasn't in agreement with the 80 percentile. But if I were to rate it on IMDb, I'd probably give it a 7.
Now, speaking of your wife,
a hard 6, but probably a 7. Yes. What about my wife? My wife.
Did your wife watch Goodnight, Mommy?
She did not. But I did. I watched Goodnight, Mommy.
And you think it's okay for her to watch it?
I do.
And I want to know what that result is.
I know.
When that happens.
I know you do. Now. Goodnight, Mommy. How much are we going to talk about with this film? Because this is, in the end, again, not a horror film. This is more like The Babadook. It's a psychological, I can't even say thriller, but I would say a psychological.
It's a horror film.
Kind of.
Why is it not a horror film?
Well, is
it horrifying?
The last 30 minutes is probably horrifying.
Horror films are. I mean, this whole idea of horror is a broad genre. Is it Goodnight, Mommy? Goodnight, Mother?
Goodnight, Mommy.
Goodnight, Mommy.
Yeah.
It's a horror film.
The first hour and 10 minutes, I am the same way. Probably in the first 45 minutes.
First act, I'm like, I have suspicions.
Absolutely. And how much are we going to talk about it? Because we can go into real detail about that. Do we want to spoil this?
I don't know. I mean,
all right, let's not. And you know what? We'll talk about it off air. Because there's some cool stuff that I want to talk about that would just ruin it for people.
And we'll talk about it after your wife watches it.
Okay.
Let's talk about a film I don't mind ruining.
Okay.
Alien Covenant.
Alien Covenant. Yes. So anyway, Goodnight, Mommy. Highly recommend seeing that. If anyone hasn't seen it yet, it's about 2 or 3 years old. I think it came out in 2013, 2014. Yeah. Something like that.
I would put it right up there with The Babadook as far as quality horror films.
Absolutely. I think I agree with that wholeheartedly. It's just, and there's little nuances throughout the film that you got to catch, and if you catch them,
again,
it makes
a smart horror film.
Yeah, it makes a much better viewing experience. And if you don't catch them, rewatch it and see if you can catch them. Or if you want, you can probably go online and read about these little nuances that you might have missed. And you're like, holy shit, I missed that. Oh my God, that's right. Oh wow, that makes a lot of sense. You find yourself doing that. I didn't really have that issue the first time I watched it. I caught a lot of the little nuances. But there were certain things after I read some things online, like, oh God, that does make a lot of sense. And then once you read something, it kind of like dominoes, you start thinking, oh shit, that's why that scene was like that. Oh, that's why this was like this. And then it kind of just, topples over in your brain. But anyway.
I don't like it when my brain topples over.
Me neither. I'm not a big fan of it. Alien Covenant. Now, I saw that 2 or 3 months ago. I didn't see it when it first came out. I saw it a little bit afterwards. When it was
I just got around to it.
On demand. So, this is a sequel to Prometheus, but still a prequel to Alien.
Now, I will say, it's better than Prometheus.
It's a way fucking better than Prometheus.
However,
and
there are certain things about the film I like. I like the acting to an extent.
Yeah, it's
I
solid.
had no problems with that.
Danny McBride, you can't go wrong.
Oh, Danny McBride. Yeah, sure. But I mean the other characters too. I even liked how a lot of the action and the pacing of the story was portrayed. I thought it was well done in that respect.
Right.
Now, the big drawback is I've seen this movie before.
That is true.
Everything that happens in this film...
Formulaic is a good word.
You know how this film is going to end when it starts.
Yeah.
There's no mystery. Excuse me. There is no mystery whatsoever with this film. Every time I would see something, you're like, oh, I know where this is leading an hour from now. That's not fun.
No. Yeah, especially when you... You shouldn't be able to just say, oh, shit, this is where they're going with it. That's when you know you got a problem.
That's like... what's the name of the actor that plays the
android?
Robot? What's his name again?
Oh, what's his... yeah.
I don't have anything pulled up. I'm totally unprepared.
Wow, why can't I remember his name? I used to be so good at this. Then I had children.
Stupid kids. Danny McBride. No.
No, not Danny McBride. Fucking... he's fucking Magneto. Yes. Michael Fassbender.
He's the new Magneto, yeah.
He's the new Magneto.
The minute you see him... I mean, they have the whole prologue, which is just...
They brought back Guy Pearce to do it, too.
Right, and the prologue is like a prequel to... Prometheus. Just like the prologue of Prometheus was a prequel to the creation of mankind. So, whatever. Anyway, as soon as you meet the character Walter, who's played by Michael Fassbender as well, you're like, okay, I know how this is going to end. And if you don't, then you're not paying attention.
Yeah.
I mean, it's even bad enough where when you have Walter and what's the other guy's name? David. When you have David and Walter, when they meet for the first time and they go back into David's lair, and he pulls out a flute.
Oh.
I'm like, that's going into somebody soon.
Starts fluting.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm going to ruin that part for you right now. Because the minute I saw it, I even said it aloud. That's going in somebody's neck. I'm not psychic. It's just the way he's holding it too. And all right, you know what? CGI is advanced enough. An actor playing a flute with himself for 5 minutes. Yeah, it's not as impressive as fucking the split screens on Different Strokes. You can cut that shit now. Seriously. It's not even worth it. And I mean, they telegraph everything about that so much, and everything in the film is fucking telegraphed. Now the only thing in the film that's not telegraphed, because it has no bearing on anything whatsoever, is the captain, the new captain of the ship after the little to-do in the beginning.
Right.
He's a priest.
Oh.
What bearing?
Yes, he is.
Yeah. This is brought up. And has absolutely nothing to do with anything for the rest of the film. They allude to it as if there's supposed to be some kind of underlying message or story about it. There's not. Everything that character does, every way that character acts, everything throughout it, you could have made him, a fucking engineer. Wouldn't have had any bearing whatsoever, anything, because it was just there to inject religion, because aliens, religion. Yeah, no, shut the fuck up. You're just pandering. You're pandering. It's the pandering from Prometheus notched down 50%, but it's still there.
Well, it's Ridley Scott. They really should be getting somebody new. Well, they should be getting somebody new to direct alien films at this point.
No, they should have stopped making alien films. No, they have nothing to offer.
No. It's still a viable franchise. There's still it is. There is still an audience for the Alien franchise.
No. If it was a viable franchise still, they wouldn't be remaking the first film in their supposed prequel. Everything in this fucking film is a copy of the previous Alien film. Alien.
I don't know how much new
and
you can do with aliens.
Exactly. So it's no longer a viable franchise. Fucking stop it.
But I would at least like to see someone other than Ridley Scott try and do an alien film. And I'm not talking about those fucking Alien vs. Predator guys. Just a regular alien film.
No. Because now he's trying to reinvent it.
There's got to be a way to do an original film. Do the fucking land war.
It's called just do an original film. Just drop the fucking alien thing altogether.
They've been talking about doing a land war for Alien forever. Where it makes it to Earth and we just... They breed. There's millions of them. Thousands, millions, and then it's a land war. You could probably do something interesting with that.
Let it fucking die. For the love of... I was talking to a coworker the other day. It was like, about Spielberg. It's like, yeah, Spielberg had predicted the fall of Hollywood. They're like, well, of course he fucking did, because. Fuck him, and as one of the things they brought up as evidence was the lackluster performance of the Blade Runner sequel. It's like, yeah, critics loved it, but no one went to see it. So it's like that's not Hollywood failing. That's just it's one of their methods of like trying to ensure money failing. No one gave a shit about a Blade Runner sequel.
No, even though I've heard it's excellent. Yeah,
but nobody asked for it. Nobody wanted it. There were no unanswered questions from the first film. The first film was, again, not a fan of the film. It is a classic work. It was a groundbreaking piece of work. And to revive it now just because Harrison Ford's trying to get in some licks, it's honestly, if Harrison Ford hadn't said, yeah, I'll do it, probably wouldn't have happened.
Probably
I would
not.
put money on that.
Yeah.
Exactly,
and considering
but no, he's doing Han Solo, so he's like, yeah, what other franchises can I come back and haunt for another fucking $20 million? I haven't seen it. I'm not criticizing it, but why didn't anybody go to see it? Because no one cared.
Well, and the first film, The first film didn't garner huge box office success either. It's groundbreaking as it was, and kind of in a lot of ways still is. It's just one of those films that gained popularity through the years, famously known for how many different, cuts of the film and different endings and all of that.
Exactly. Yeah, I told the coworker, said the fans of Blade Runner haven't been clamoring for a sequel. They've been content watching 8 different versions of the film for the past 30 years. They don't give a shit.
No, exactly.
So, and again, Alien. Just fucking go back and watch Aliens. Because there's nothing new.
But I will say this, though. And a film that wasn't popular when it came out initially had to gain popularity, success, money, all through the years, was the original Blade Runner. Now, the Stephen King film, It, record-breaking opening, 130 million, R-rated. Blade Runner 2049... also R-rated, but almost 3 hours long.
But you want to go back to what I've been saying for fucking forever is you don't remake great classics. You remake shit films.
Well, yeah.
So you take a Stephen King property, which is always hit or miss to begin with. I mean, he has a lot of blockbusters there, but there's a lot of Stephen King duds too. So he's not instant box office.
There's more duds than success with Stephen King.
I'd say 50-50. I would say 50. If it was more does of success, he wouldn't be. They wouldn't still be.
And you know what? If Frank Darabont didn't direct 3 of them, it absolutely would be less.
But anyway,
Darabont has done 3 realistically the best Stephen King adaptations ever, other than Stand By Me. That's it. That's though, and you might let's say we don't count The Mist. The 3 best films ever made is Stand By Me, Shawshank Redemption, and The Green Mile. And 2 of them were done by Darabont.
That's a separate category, because that's non-horror Stephen King.
That is correct. If you want to do straight-up horror, you're probably talking The Shining. But, anyway, go ahead.
Anyway,
what was that? What the fuck was that like?
Nothing. Well, I've just been trying to make the same point for a couple minutes now.
Oh, my God.
My point is... why did that film make so much money? Because they didn't go back and take a hugely successful Stephen King film and try to remake it. They didn't say, oh, let's redo The Shining. a film that people had go over before. They say, no, let's go back to that disappointing made-for-TV version of It and redo that. Oh. Yeah. So everybody that liked It was like, oh, yeah, that TV show was kind of lame, but even though we like Tim Curry, and that's the only reason anybody remembers the goddamn thing, let's go see this. And it was also happened to be a good film, so I've heard. So there's that, too.
Yeah, no, that's true. I've never been a fan of the original Stephen King's TV movie It, ever. Like you just said, Tim Curry was the only real thing that drew me to it. But
the only reason anybody remembers it is because of Tim Curry.
Yeah.
Honestly.
No, this
you don't hear people talking about Tommyknockers.
Not even for Jimmy Smits.
No, not even for Jimmy Smits.
Not even for Jimmy Smits.
I only bring up the Langoliers because I'm a sucker for time travel films. But
or was Jimmy Smits in the Langoliers?
That's what I meant. The Tommyknockers. No, Jimmy Smits was Tommyknockers.
He wasn't Tommyknockers. Okay.
Yeah.
And I think that's why The Stand is probably going to end up being successful because of the success of It and also a disappointing TV movie.
Exactly, because they've never really fully adapted it.
And I believe The Stand is going to be 2 parts, just like what they're doing with It.
No shit.
Well, it's like an 800-page book.
I'm surprised they didn't squeeze 3 out of it. But again, like you said, a disappointing adaptation, and it's something that they would have done properly 20 or 30 years ago, but it would have cost like $300 million to make.
Probably,
yeah. Yeah, now with CGI, they can do it for a fraction of the cost. Why not do it? That's why they did the Dark Tower. I guess there was a fan base for the Dark Tower. I was never it, so I'm not.
Me neither.
Tapped into that, but I don't even know how well that did in the theaters.
It did. It did horribly.
It looked boring.
It did look boring, and they had Idris Elba and Matthew McConaughey, and the trailer was so secretive, and they were doing the watch not Good Morning America, but it was like, tune in on this day to this show and you'll see the trailer for the first time ever. And it was like, who fucking cares? They were building up this hype for, it's like the Dark Tower, and it just, nobody cared, and it showed in the box office.
Yeah,
I'll look it up real quick, but I'm pretty sure it did very poor.
That's why I say Stephen King, hit or miss, 50-50. But they'll make their money back, international. So who cares?
Yeah. Now I should get numbers for Jigsaw some point tomorrow.
Well, we're gonna review it tomorrow night after we're done. I think we'll try to.
I think we'll try. Yeah.
We'll try. If not, we'll record it early. Like maybe we'll do it Sunday or something.
Sure. Well. Sunday. I
mean, like this Skype.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It might have to wait. Well, okay, maybe. I got a lot
as soon as we can. We'll get it out before the next Moviesucktastic. How about that? We'll try to.
It's got it. Well, yeah.
If not, whatever. Anyway,
the budget. Yeah. The Dark Tower cost $60 million. It made $50 million domestically. It's actually it did better than I thought it did domestically. Made 61 in the foreign market. Ended up making $111 million. So, it actually made money.
Well, again, they can't lose money these days. Show me a film where they actually. I mean, they'll claim they lost money because that's how you pad the pockets. I mean,
sure,
but
it had an opening weekend of 19 million, which is actually pretty respectable.
Yeah, but before it gets to the accountants and they move shit around,
they're
not losing money on anything. They can't. It's just that
it opened up in
the market.
3,400 theaters. That's a lot of theaters for a movie like that. Although it did get a PG-13 rating.
Yeah, they wouldn't be red lighting so many fucking $100 million, $200 million budgets if it was that hard to recoup. It's not anymore.
Yeah.
So you got any other films to bring up after Covenant, or?
Just Goodnight, Mommy, and
real briefly.
Yeah.
The tweet that ruined Mother for you.
Yeah.
I told Holly about it, and her short response was, "That's what you get for following her on Twitter."
Really?
Yeah.
So I need to unfollow her.
She asked me, she's like, why is he following her on Twitter? Says, I don't know.
She followed me first. I don't follow, dude. I don't follow anyone on Twitter. If I get followed by someone, I return the favor. I don't fuck. Yeah, because
Disney art student.
Because I fucking tweet. Give me a break. No, I'm sorry. I'm not going to accept that. The blame does not go on me.
Yeah.
It is not. You can fucking take that back to your wife. Doesn't go on me. Nuh-uh. I don't think so.
I agreed with her, so I don't know.
Well.
I was upset I didn't think of it first.
Yeah, I don't follow anybody unless they follow me first, because I don't do shit on Twitter. I just happen to
art students.
Listen. Again, followed me, returned the favor. All right?
And look where I got you.
Yeah, that's what. Did you see the film yet?
No.
No? Okay.
I'm dying to now.
Yeah, well, Mare, she always reads ahead. She can't not know stuff. Like, we'll watch a TV show where it'll be like the season finale, and she'll go and read about it. I'm like, what are you doing? Why even bother? I'm even
further than that now. I'm beyond like not reading stuff. Earlier this week, Holly asked me, "So, what do you for Jigsaw? What do you think they're going to do?" It's like I'm not thinking about it.
Yeah, no.
So, but you think they'll bring this character back? I'm not thinking about it. I don't even want to try to guess. I'm going in like as if I've never seen a Saw film before. I don't want to. Why would I try to? That's why it's so disappointing when you watch stuff like Alien Covenant. It's like Jesus Christ, could this be any more fucking transparent? It's that. Just tell me what you're gonna do. Save me an hour and a half.
Yeah, no, I'm very much looking forward to Jigsaw tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, I didn't even watch any of the previous films, so I might even watch the film, and you might like elbow me and be like, "Did you get that?" I'm like, "No, I didn't."
I'll save it all for afterwards.
Well, you know what I'll probably do, because I've seen all the Saw films, a few times each. I can go and just read, just catch up by reading, and I'm sure that'll be good enough.
You got a memory for films. You don't have to.
I do, thankfully, but I'll probably still read up a little bit. Just
any of the horror films you watched recently, or
other than Goodnight, Mommy, and It Comes at Night, those are the only two new things that I watched. I do have a couple of other films that I've seen recently, but not for the show.
Okay,
and one's a classic, and it's Killer Klowns from Outer Space.
Oh wow! Wow.
Yes. Yes. You remember that one?
I remember when I watched films like that.
Yeah, that's the type of film that you watch, and people don't like clowns. So even back then, people really just had this affliction with clowns, and so they said, let's make a horror movie out of clowns. And instead of just making a horror movie with normal looking clowns, these are like really fucked up, like seriously fucked up looking clowns. And the film is
Killer Klowns from Outer Space is one of those 80s, right?
80s, 1988, popcorn, just...
Yeah. Well, it's one of those 80s intentionally bad horror films.
Yeah, midnight cinema type movies.
Yeah, but it's not like the 80s horror films where they were just trying to make horror films like Chopping Mall, where there was no irony involved.
No, it's purposely cheesy. Yeah, it's got cheese.
Yeah, I would call camp.
Camp is another good. Yeah, it's absolutely camp. It's a very fun camp film, though. You can't help but not like this movie.
I have the weird feeling if I went back and watched it now, I'd be less amused.
You think so?
I'm getting a little bitter in my middle age, so I don't know. I'm guarded with that one. There are ones I'll admit right up front. So yeah, I'll watch that shit any other year. But that's one where I really feel like if I go back, like, I guess the moment was. Like I'll go back and watch Night of the Creeps. I'll watch that right now.
Oh sure.
I'll still fucking love it. I don't care.
Thrill me.
Yeah, but but something about Killer Klowns was. I liked it at the time, but it the problem with camp is pandering. And pandering only works so much.
Well,
I'm again. I'm not anti-camp. You know, I'm sure I could pay, but I'm not as into it as it's like forced irony. Or I don't know. I'm.
Well, you know, and the main plot of the film is that the clowns, they come from outer space and they start killing people. That's really all there is to it. And it's campy. And, you know, I'm looking at some numbers here because I did pull it up. It came out May of 1988, so it was considered almost a summer film. $2 million budget, made $15 million. I'm actually surprised at the amount of money that it made and how...
A title like that?
There wasn't a sequel, right?
Not that I'm aware of.
Yeah, I'm surprised there wasn't.
Well, again, where else are you going to go with it? They really exhausted it to the whole thing. Yeah. I mean, there was some really clever stuff. I like the whole popcorn angle, and you know, they did all the stuff with the clown car and the balloon animals. I mean, they really like ringed it out. They got all the juice out of that. They got all the blood out of that stone in the first film. You know why?
Well, you know the thing is too. It's a PG-13, and I never really looked into it, but you always felt like this probably should have been a harder rating, and I wonder if it was cut back to appease the MPAA to get a PG-13. Not that I'm saying that it was, I'm not that I'm saying that it was in any way an R-rated film or even it teetered on the border of being an R-rated film, but I could see that it could have been, and maybe some scenes were cut back to get that 13. I would be curious if there was ever an uncut version of this.
I don't think so. I remember enough. That film was designed for a broad audience. They weren't trying to lose the 13 and under crowd.
This is also a period in time where the MPAA was harder on films than usual.
Exactly. Yeah, the whole Morton Downey Jr. Tipper Gore bullshit.
Oh yeah, and NC-17 rating had come out not that much, later.
No, that was in the 90s. Yeah.
Yeah, this was 88. Right. The NC-17 came out what, 1991? With Henry and June was the first film to get it, I think.
That sounds close.
Who? Henry and June. Pretty sure that was the first film to get NC-17.
I don't think so.
Really?
I don't think so.
I'm gonna look it up real quick. But anyway, and you know what's always funny about the NC-17 rating is a lot of people think that you need to be 17 years old to watch an NC-17 film. That is a rating that is completely misleading. But what NC-17 actually stands for is no children 17 and under. Meaning you have to be 18 to watch the movie.
Yeah. Well, technically you don't because it's not a legal rating.
It isn't? It's not it's not given by the MPAA?
The ratings are, it's self-imposed. It's not a law. So if a theater decided to let a 15-year-old into an NC-17, the parents can bitch, but there's no law against it.
The first NC-17 rating was given on October 5th, 1990 to Henry and June.
Oh, I could have sworn it was something else.
The film about a love triangle between Henry and June Miller and Annie Nin back in the 30s. I thought it was Henry and June. Go, man.
For some reason, I thought it was something else.
And I want to say the second film to ever get it was the film Whore. Maybe that's the movie you're thinking of.
No, it wasn't that. But yeah, that's my point when I say it's like it's not a legally binding rating. It's a self-imposed industry rating to prevent the government from rating the shit. So that's why libraries don't adhere to it. You know that.
Well, of course.
Yeah, so libraries don't give a shit. If it's rated R, whatever, kids can rent it. They don't support it.
Mm-hmm.
Because they have a problem with censorship. Go figure. But I don't think Killer Klowns. I disagree with you. I think it was 100% made for a PG-13 audience.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's me.
The film Whore also came out in 1990. So that was the second film ever to get the NC-17 rating. Wow, two in the same year.
Yeah.
Oh, get out of here. Wild at Heart also initially got an NC-17, and it was re-edited, and it got an R.
Oh, yeah, there's a couple scenes in there. I can see that. Yeah.
Sure.
That was rough.
Take a bite of peach.
Yeah. Well, the whole fuck me scene.
Well, yeah.
I mean, that right there. I want to bring up quickly, Holly and I watched like 2 or 3 horror films in a row. I'm not going to go into all of them in detail, but one of them I watched was the Gracefield incident.
Oh, what is that? That sounds familiar.
Another found footage just came out this year.
God.
Aliens and guy puts a camera in his eye.
Really?
Because he lost his baby. It doesn't make sense. That part's fine.
It doesn't
we get
like
that.
Makes sense.
It just like everything else, it's a blatant just copy of Blair Witch. There's nothing really new it brings to the party. However, the weird thing was we watched the Gracefield incident and The Darkness with Kevin Bacon from 2016.
Oh.
Have you seen that one?
No.
It's one of those ones like it's got like a 0 Rotten Tomatoes rating, and like, everyone hates it. It's like really low. We watched both of them. I think, and they weren't good. But the thing that pissed us both off the most was it's like there's this trend now where all of a sudden horror films have happy endings.
Oh God, really?
Yeah, and I'm ruining both of them for you. I don't care. Gracefield incident, like it's like every fucking found footage film you've ever seen. They're supposed to end with, everybody dies because it's found footage. And like even the Gracefield incident, it starts with alien FBI files have been declassified, and these were the videos that they had, and for some reason they edited them together in an entertaining format. And so it's just like the big reveal at the end is, hey, guess what? Everything turns out fine. So what the fuck are you talking? The only thing worse than sitting through the whole thing, waiting for the inevitable ending, is to have something even worse happen where nothing even mattered. You're supposed to even have at least have that, like the scary ending where it's like, oh, it's a happy ending. Or is it? It's a horror film. Come on. It's even Poltergeist ended on like a down note,
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I mean they survived, but like their whole life was torn apart. This was like, hey, yeah, and he threw the TV out. I mean, what the fuck happened?
Did it not test well and they changed the ending?
I don't know. I don't think so, because these films aren't. They don't test found footage films. They crank them out and throw them at the audience.
It's like I can see It Comes at Night testing very poorly, and they're like, well, we're not going to change it. Or maybe the director said, I'm not changing the film. And they said, well, we need to make money, so we're going to really we're going to give it this trailer everything we got.
That's when you're making a $50 million, $100 million budget film, and you want a big opening weekend. This is like direct-to-video shit. They're not testing anything.
Oh, it was
somebody wrote this, and they wrote the ending and said, yeah, and they all lived happily together. So what? It was just like, we're watching horror films for Halloween, and we watched these two things in a row. So, motherfucker. Like in The Darkness, not only do the whole family survive and and flourish at the end, the whole thing is like this. They take their autistic son on a trip to the Nevada desert, and he digs up these possessed stones, and he brings like these ancient Incan or whatever demons to their house, and it's going to bring about the end of the world. It can't just be about the family; it has to be about the end of the world.
The end of the world.
And of course. Yeah, but you can't throw the end of the world against Kevin Bacon because it's going to lose. But not only do they defeat all of it at the end, it even cures the kid's autism.
No.
I fucking swear. I swear they don't really say cure, but they kind of imply that now he's actually like it starts with he's withdrawn and doesn't talk to anybody. At the end he's playing soccer and he's like
he used to be so good at math, and now he's flunking.
Yeah, but he's happy and he's outdoors. It's almost insulting how happy the ending is.
He used to love Judge Wapner, and now he could care less.
Actually, the best part of the dark, the thing I want to say about The Darkness is, it's a bad horror film, but the one thing I had respect for was I thought it actually played the complex dynamics of a household with an autistic child very well, because they did a lot with like the daughter being like angry that they pay extra attention to him, and then the mother is is kind of smothering the kid a bit and ignoring the daughter, and the husband's like, hey, what's going on here? But she's like, oh, you don't understand anything, the house is haunted. And he's like, what the fuck are you talking about? But they kind of play it all. It was like I felt like I was like, if you took out the demonic part, it's like a Lifetime movie. It really, there was a lot of, I thought I was actually enjoying the family struggle.
I was actually going to bring up Lifetime movie when you said it had a happy ending.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, even a Lifetime ending wouldn't have had as happy ending as this did.
Hallmark Channel movie.
But the thing that really got me the most was they had this really happy ending, but they have a neighbor with a dog that they start yelling at in the beginning. So again, it's one of those things. Oh, gee, the neighbor's dog is always barking. I wonder how that's going to turn up. And so, long story short, one of the demons comes in the form of a wolf and attacks the daughter, and they blame the neighbor's dog, and like they actually take the dog away, like the pound, and they're going to kill the dog.
Of course,
they don't just they don't put him in jail for a couple months. It
turned out to be a coyote or some shit like that. Or like maybe she wasn't blind, but she was hard. She had bad eyesight, or maybe she just didn't realize it wasn't a dog, but it was a coyote in the end.
So I think out of all the films we talked about tonight, the only one you should actually watch is Goodnight, Mommy.
Probably, although It Comes at Night, it is.
Oh, and It Comes at Night. I'm sorry.
It is a good film, but just don't watch the trailer first. Avoid it if you can, completely.
Basically every film I mentioned, avoid like the plague.
Goodnight, Mommy, and It Comes at Night. Watch both. Expect slow builds on both, but they're both very good. And don't watch the trailer for It Comes at Night. I cannot stress that enough.
Right.
You'll just be disappointed if you watch it, because you're going to be expecting a completely different movie.
So we're going to watch Jigsaw tomorrow night. We'll try to get a review out as soon as possible, because I know everybody's waiting for us to talk about it.
Of course.
And we're actually going to stop the show tonight at a solid hour, and we're going to start up Strangers in a Strange Land again.
Yes. I'll be hosting tonight, letting Scott and his father just go at it. I got some clips to play, and I'll interject when I can.
Woo!
Yeah. But, all right, I guess we'll go ahead and end the show then. You have any?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay, let's go ahead and do that.
Words of wisdom?
That's at the very end.
Oh, that's right. We didn't get that far yet.
Come on.
I'm sorry.
You can hear the music now.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right, episode 257 of Moviesucktastic. Continuing with our Halloween specials every week. Next week will be the last one before we move on into November. Who knows what we'll talk about then, but, well, Tusk at some point. I don't know, maybe if you watch Tusk, we'll do it next week. Because Tusk, in the end, is a horror film, so... Anyhow, as always, thanks for joining us. Make sure you visit our website at Moviesucktastic.com. Listen to the show there. Download the show there, or tune in live every Thursday at 8 o'clock and hang out with us while we do the show live. You can go to the Facebook page at facebook.com/Moviesucktastic, and everything that we talk about as far as trailers, when we go live, it's all put there. You can go to iTunes and you can download the show there as well, or you can listen right on the iTunes site. You can also go to our Tumblr page at moviesucktastic.tumblr.com, and Scott maintains that. He does a real nice job. You should go and visit it. You can leave us voicemail at 908-514-4470. If you want to email us, the address is themovieguys@moviesucktastic.com. Download the free app for your Android devices. 100% free. Everything I mentioned is in it, including the ability to listen to the show. Take it with you in your car, hook it up to your sound system, and guess what? You're listening to us on the go right from your phone inside your car. Doesn't get better than that, and it's 100% free.
It really doesn't.
And that's about it. Do you have any words of wisdom?
Live or die. Make your choice.
Beautiful thing.
Jigsaw, bitches!
All right, everyone. We'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.
Torture porn!